I believe that we have the potential to create a happy culture and happy people if we take every day as an opportunity to share positivity with the people around us. As Buddha says, and he's a great reference on all things happiness, we are what we think. With our thoughts, we create the world. So if we are happy on the inside, we can create a happy outside. If we have a positive perspective, we can create a positive reality. Let me show you something. So, me and my partner Paul travelled from Perth to Darwin last year to start our new lives in the Territory. We had an amazing trip. I'm going to share a few photos with you now. So this is us on day 2. We got bogged and almost rolled the car. We almost lost everything we owned because we were travelling from Perth to Darwin. We had everything we owned in the car. Good start. Paul dug the car out. Nice work, Paul. This is Paul fixing the fuses in the car because the fuse box exploded and ruined all of our electronics. Day 3. This is us driving through Wittenoom. If anyone hasn't heard of Wittenoom, it's an abandoned asbestos town in Western Australia. It's actually been taken off the map to deter people from going through it. Whatever. We went through it and got a flat tyre. So Paul had to change the tyre. See how he took precautions to stop himself from breathing in the asbestos fumes? We were safe. We were good. This is also good. This is us emptying everything we owned out of the car because we flooded it doing a river crossing. It's not an X-trail, it's an X-fail now. And finally, this is what's left of our tent after a month on the road. Gaffer tape really can fix everything. So yes, many people would view our trip to Darwin as chaos, an expensive disaster filled with burst tyres, flooded cars and potential asbestos poisoning. It's totally normal. Have you ever had a bad experience and let it ruin your view of something? Ever looked forward to something for a really long time and then when things didn't go to plan, get disappointed? You know that feeling? It's perfectly normal. But it's not something that I feel. I look at my trip to Darwin and all I can see is amazing experiences, challenges and a great time. I was strengthened as an individual. My relationship with Paul was definitely strengthened. And I have a lot of great stories to share with people. Yay, disaster trip. It was great. I guess I should really tell you all about my condition now. It's not really fair for me to stand up here with a condition and not share it with you because it's affecting the way that I talk. I live with a condition every day that affects the way that I interact with people and how I handle social situations. So it's for the best that I share this with you. I'm terminally positive. I'm terminally positive, yes, I know it's devastating, right? They say there's nothing they can do. I will always be happy. I've lived with terminal positivity for many years now, and the symptoms include smiling lots, always wanting to help others, seeing the bright side of situations, saying yay lots, and always asking for things half full. Terminal positivity is a disease that affects your perception. I can't help but be happy because I see the world around me as this awesome opportunity filled with people, stories, and chances to interact with others. I love life. I have optimism that blurs my sight so that every day I go around and see the positive side of things. And you know, some people often ask me, why are you so happy or why are you so energetic? And sometimes people even make the joke, oh, I'll have whatever drugs Amy's on. But the truth is, no drug causes this perception-altering state. I'm happy because I view the world around me with positivity. Every day is a great challenge for me because every day is a positive day. There is one other thing that you need to know about terminal positivity before I continue. Probably should have told you this before you came into the room. Terminal positivity is contagious. You can actually catch terminal positivity from me. Shall we try it? Someone's keen. What's your name? Abby, hi, how are you going, Abby? Having fun today? So what I'm doing right now is I am expressing the happiness that's going on in my head through my body language towards you and through my face through smiling. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out here today. It's awesome of you. You enjoying the talk so far? Yeah, absolutely. And are you looking forward to everything else today? You're really good to get involved in the community like this. I think it's a great thing you're doing. And your dress, crushed velvet, amazing. Amazing. Okay, so apart from the fact that you're probably a little bit scared, I've picked you out from the crowd because you're like this. You're happy? Yeah, that was a positive interaction? Yeah, send it first here, guys. Every interaction you have with a person affects them in some way. It's like when you run into somebody in the street and they're pumped on life and excited, you feel good from that interaction, right? Every single day you have the potential to interact with somebody and change the course of their day. So thank you very much, Abby. It's okay though, I'll step away over here. I've given you mild positivity, not the terminal level that I'm at. If I have a disease that's terminal and contagious, I should probably keep it to myself, right? No. I don't think so. What if I was meant to spread this? What if this terminal positivity was something I was supposed to share with everybody? If the natural thing to do was to go around every single day and share this perspective with the people around me? If every interaction I had with somebody was recreating, refostering, recycling and recircling this positive perspective of the world, could you imagine the paradigm I could potentially create? How happy everyone could be? And if it's contagious, then I'd pass it to one person. They'd pass it to another, and then another, and then another. And all of a sudden, you've created an organic snowball that's rolling off in some shiny, wonderful direction. You've created a culture, a movement, an epidemic of terminal positivity. Sounds pretty cool to me. And to tell you the truth, I think that's what my aim is every day. I'm happy and positive and generous with my positivity with the people around me because I know that I have the potential to make them happy as well. That's what I do every single day. Some of you are a little bit like, oh yeah, sounds good. A disease though? Come on, Amy, what are you talking about? So I believe I have a disease because when you break it down, what is a disease? A disease is defined as an abnormal condition that affects your body, resulting in signs and symptoms. Terminal positivity is something that affects me every single day. My mind and my body are affected by this, and it's abnormal in some way because not everybody sees the bright side of every situation, and even more abnormal because not everybody is very generous with that positivity. So I believe it acts like a disease. And the signs and symptoms? Happiness. I live a happy life every single day. And if you don't believe me that it's contagious, I'm going to reference Harvard, because Harvard Medical School is like legit. Harvard did a research study a few years ago of 5,000 people over 20 years. So pretty, comprehensive study. And what they found and what they were looking for is how happiness affects one person's group of friends and their group of friends. And what they found is that if one person in a group was happy, that happiness could affect their friends and their friends and their friends. That happiness and positivity was being transferred from one group of people to another, just like a contagious disease. Harvard said it, so it's not just me. It's good. We've got Harvard on site. But could you imagine if it wasn't just one person spreading this positivity and causing this, snowball effect? If it wasn't just one person, but a whole community deciding to spread terminal positivity, could you imagine the world we could create? Could you imagine how quickly happiness could spread through people? It could be amazing. Let's imagine today that you guys all decide to join me and spread the terminal positivity I'm about to infect you with. If you decided that you were going to join me on my crusade to share happiness, that could be amazing. We could start something quite spectacular here in Darwin. So, you're all convinced, right? You're all going to join me and share terminal positivity? Yeah? Thank you very much. How do you catch the terminal level of positivity? Because Abby's already got the mild positivity. How do you catch terminal level of positivity? Well, it's pretty simple. What you need to do is start seeing every single day as an opportunity to share happiness and positivity with the people around you. Because when you move away from yourself and into a generous open space, willing to put others' happiness first, then terminal positivity can come through you. And it can become something that you live and become terminal and something that interacts with every single day that you have. It's about moving away from your own pursuit of happiness to focusing more on how you share happiness with the people around you. Would you like an example? Okay. Even if you didn't or not, doesn't matter. I've got the microphone. Telemarketers, right? Not everybody is a big fan of telemarketers, hey? Me, personally, when they call me, it's usually at an inconvenient time, but it doesn't affect the way that I interact with them. I'm lovely on the phone. We have good chats. I find out how they're going, what's going on. I also try to work out pretty early on whether what they're selling me is relevant. And, the whole interaction with them is quite fun. The reason I do this is because it's a human being. But more than that, it's also an opportunity for me to share my terminal positivity down the phone line and affect them. Because that interaction is going to change the course of their entire day, right? They might change the way that they talk to the next person on the phone because I was a little generous with my happiness. They might go home to their families in a completely different headspace, simply because I took a little extra time to be kind, generous, and positive. Because there is one thing that you need to think about when you're spreading positivity. As easy as positivity can be spread, negativity can be spread. Have you guys ever witnessed this? In your friends' circles, with your family, at work, if somebody's having a bad day, it affects everybody. Like, you change how you act around the person at work who's grumpy because you don't want to upset them anymore, and then that changes the way that you interact with people for the whole day. So negativity can spread just as easy as positivity. And it is completely normal to have a bad day. I'm not perfect. I'm not like this every single day. I do have my down days. But when I do, what I do to bring myself back up is to change my perspective. I choose my perspective. Instead of thinking about myself, I think about how my attitude and my happiness affects the people around me. Because happiness for me is bigger than just me. Because when I'm down, it affects my boyfriend, it affects my friends, it affects people at work. Why not take every day as an opportunity to spread positivity instead of negativity? It's about changing that perspective. I believe it's just as easy to see a positive side of something than a negative. Human beings are naturally going to focus on the negative because we realise that's the thing that's stopping us from being completely happy. But if we choose our perspective to be grateful and excited about the world around us, it becomes a natural way of looking at things. And then we'll want to spread that and make others happy. And if we're looking at perception as the guide to what I'm telling you, then a great metaphor is a camera. There's plenty of cameras around today. But when you take a photo with a camera, if it's set to automatic, that photo can turn out fine. It's okay. But when you take a little bit of extra time and change those settings to manual and really control that perspective and that focus in every element that's going on, the photo turns out so much more beautiful. The world around you is so much more beautiful when you take a little bit more time to control that perspective. And sure, it takes a little while to learn those settings at the beginning, but once you do it over and over and over again, it becomes natural. It becomes something you've learned. The same with your perspective. If every day you work hard to focus on a positive side of things, to share positivity, it becomes what you do every single day. It becomes terminal. I don't think what I'm sharing with you guys is actually that revolutionary. I think sharing happiness is something that human beings are meant to do. For example, have you ever smiled at a baby? Yeah? What happens when you smile at a baby? They smile back at you, right? Tenfold. They give you that happiness right back at you. They don't do it because you're their friend or because they've been told to. It's a baby. The only thing it knows is that being smiled at makes it feel good. Yeah. And doesn't it feel good to be smiled at? The baby understands that. So what it wants to do is it wants to share that with you. And it's a human instinct to want to do that. At its very simplest form, happiness is something that needs to be shared. And happiness is really important for communities. A lot of people might use happiness as a guide to their life. They might pursue happiness. It might be what they do every day. Aristotle, one of the greatest thinkers in Western civilization, has said that happiness is the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. It's called the pursuit of happiness. Every day you do something to try and make yourself happy. You might work to afford things that'll make you happy and more comfortable. You might spend time with your friends because you love them, but it also makes you happy. But what I'm suggesting is that if we go around every day and share positivity in a generous way, happiness wouldn't be something we need to pursue. It would be something that just exists in a generous and beautiful form around in our community. We could all be happy without fighting to be happy. And then could you imagine if happiness just existed? We'd go to work for completely different reasons. We'd exist for different reasons. Maybe we'd want to try and share things with people or create things that are creative and scientifically extraordinary. We'd have a completely different purpose for life. And I think that we could achieve great things if we did that. So everybody here today, I really hope that what you will do is take an opportunity to make somebody else happy, to share positivity, and to join me and breathe in terminal positivity in a life view and spread it amongst the people around you. Because I think Darwin could start a culture, a movement, an epidemic. Thank you.